Hey there, folks. Welcome back to the CYPTV. You know the drill. Share, like, leave a comment. You already know. Let's jump right into the video.
Lockheed Martin was going to pass on control of an alien spacecraft to Bigelow Aerospace. That's the real story.
And you hear rumors that maybe it was the Kingman craft in 1953. Yeah.
And so the interesting thing is the CIA intervened to stop that from happening. Somebody rang me out of the blue from Lockheed Martin. They were an executive, a very senior executive. And essentially it was an implicit acknowledgement by that Lockheed Martin executive that they are holding alien technology. Why?
Yeah.
Why not just come out and say it? He said, it's not us.
Yeah.
He said, it's the agency. This is a conspiracy, that there really is a leadership cabal that is actively conniving to deceive the public.
All those videos were very interesting, but it makes me wonder if they're real or fake. What do you think?
You know how Kanye West has been acting a little strange lately? Well, what if I told you it was because he might be a part of a secret cult? Here's what happened. Kanye Quest 3030 dropped in 2013. It was a seemingly innocent RPG, but if you type ascend at a random terminal, the game unlocked a hidden level where things got dark. You were invited to join something called Ascensionism, a group that talked about leaving your body behind and achieving true power. Here's the wild part. People began to wonder, was this just an ARG or was it connected to some of those Kanye West conspiracies? Because around the same time, Kanye was talking about breaking the simulation. He was saying he was being watched, that he's not human, that he's transcending. People were like, who made this game? The game's creator was finally tracked down and she said the game was just a spiritual art experiment. But still, why did it line up with real world Kanye breakdowns? Was the game exposing something or predicting it? Is it a cult hiding in plain sight? What do you think? I'm Nat from the podcast Let's Get Haunted, where we talk about all sorts of strange things. Follow along for updates because we're still finding out about this one.
Do you think he's down with a cult? Is he a clone or is he just going crazy?
Have y'all ever seen a lake turn into an ocean in minutes? Because Lake Tahoe just did that, y'all. They had a storm that hit Lake Tahoe so hard that the locals there thought the world was ending. That storm straight violated Lake Tahoe, y'all. I'm talking about it was flipping boats. The wind gust was out the roof. Like, it looked like a tsunami. I'm not even lying, y'all. And the wild part is they said they didn't have no warning, no alert, no siren. People was just chilling when this storm just did this. Look at this. If you didn't know no better, you would have thought this was a lake, right? This shit look crazy. Look at the boats. You had people that been living there for 30 and 40 years that said they never seen anything like this. They seen storms before, but nothing like this at all, ever. How does a lake turn like this in the middle of the summer, y'all? This man that's recording is amused too. He like, what the fuck? Look at that person too. You know the world changing fast when storms like this can just come out of nowhere and hit hard like this and make people that's been living there all their life like, I never seen anything like that. I need y'all thoughts down below on what y'all think happened.
If you enjoy content like this, I put out several videos a week. It'll be amazing if you hit the subscribe button and join me in the next video.
You guys, we are now in the time of prophecy. It just went biblical in China, y'all. What in the Atlantis 2.0 is going on here? Did you guys hear what happened to China, y'all? China, like whole cities are lit. So remember when we talked about that these weather anomalies were popping up out of nowhere, nobody was even seeing them on the radar? Well, this is the same thing that just took place in China. I'm talking about places submerged with up to 36 feet of water. Y'all saw the beginning clip of this, y'all. Towers are completely underwater. There have been a reported over 80,000 people that have been impacted by this. Of course, there are some tragedies. Folks are saying people are missing. I mean, look at this, y'all. And this right here is how you know the storm was really bad, because you have the bridges in China overflowing with water. Y'all, there's no cap on the bridges. How is this even possible, y'all? Why does it feel like we're watching like a whole civilization being, You know what I'm saying? China is one of the most ancient places on earth. This is where we used to be. It is full of ley lines, ancient technology, sacred temples, y'all. We're watching a whole reset happening in China, y'all. They're calling this the flood of the century. It has broken records. Wow. Do you guys think you can ever rebuild from something like this? I mean, this is somebody's home, y'all. And that right there is also somebody's home. Wow. Do y'all see how the weather is popping off everywhere? Like, who asked for this? I mean, of course, we're like, the earth does what it wants, but this right here is crazy, man. You can't do nothing about it. You can only watch it. I hope you guys are paying attention, because this is not just about climate change, y'all. There's just in the miss. Let me know what you guys think about this video, y'all. Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
Something weird is going on around the world this week with the weather. In Guizhou, China, floodwaters surged over 837 feet, swallowing up neighborhoods and roads. Experts are saying that this is a once-in-a-50-year flood, and locals are saying they've never seen anything like this in their life. In Alabama today, an absolutely massive weather phenomenon appeared and then disappeared over Birmingham. Experts are saying that this could be a meteor or it was a radar glitch. And while media is reporting that now June is the new July with intense summer heats coming earlier than ever before, it is hailing in Tampa, Florida today. There is a 4.2 magnitude earthquake in Albania today. Buses in New York are falling into sinkholes because of the heat, and bridges in China are collapsing because of the rain. While everyone's focused on what's going on in the Middle East this week, I want to ask you, what do you think is going on with the weather? As always, let me know down below.
So what do you think is going on with the weather? Is it climate change? Is it end time prophecies? Why is the weather getting more extreme? Let me know in the comments what you think about all this.
Many people are very upset after a woman fell into an active volcano, ultimately leading to her not surviving. Last Saturday on June 21st, a tourist named Juliana Marine was hiking on a mountain in Indonesia when she fell off the side of the cliff, slipping over 1,000 feet into an active volcano. She was actually located by drone not too long after she fell, but the actual rescue attempt was stalled by severe weather, heavy fog, and the difficulty of the terrain. The rescue team did eventually get to her after a few days, but it's believed by then she had already succumbed to either the injuries from the initial fall or the extreme cold that was on the side of the mountain. Before this whole situation took place, Juliana allegedly asked the tour guide to stop for a second because she was tired and wanted to rest, but the tour guide ultimately decided to continue with the rest of the tourists. This whole situation has led to a ton of controversy, with some people believing that the tour guide is to blame and should have waited for Juliana to rest a bit before continuing, while others believe that the rescue team should have been better equipped for situations like this. Regardless, I want to say my condolences to the family, and let me know in the comments if you think that there's someone to blame or if this is just a freak accident.
Massive fireball just fell from the sky and shook up whole states. What? We'll get to that in 1 minute. First, we have another double sunset going on. Wonder why? You heard that, right? That's the saying of 2025. I'm not a theorist, but as people wake up. So this right here is not the sun. What is it? Arizona, 7 p.m. That is the sun. So if that's the sun, what is the glowing orange reddish ball of light going down over here, you guys? We just saw this not too long ago, and we've also been seeing it all over the world. If you don't think there's two things in the sky, you're just not looking hard enough. Ricky over at End Time Headlines literally felt the ground shaking from multiple fireballs falling from the sky. Upstate and beyond. Y'all, what is even going on? A fireball that shook the ground, the entire neighborhood. What you saw in the last clip was literally the fireball falling from the sky. Ready for the craziest part? I heard a ridiculous theory earlier in my inbox, and it actually connects to this perfectly with what happened a few days ago. Get into it later.
4 little girls that attend this elementary school planned a murder like it was a school project, and they almost pulled it off. They wrote a step-by-step plan to unalive a little boy who attends this school with them. So the girls we're talking about, they're in 5th grade, ages like 10 and 11. They was arrested for this too. Y'all, I don't know, is it the signs of the time? Like, what is going on with our children? Listen to this. So according to the police, the note that these kids had, the plan that they had to unalive this boy was, one girl was to bring a knife. One was going to write the... And one of them was the one that was going to actually go through with it. Like, are they watching too much TV? Like, what's going on? Because one of the girls was like, we need gloves so that we can't leave fingerprints. What? They wrote on the paper, kill him. Just end him. This was at Legacy Traditional Elementary School in Arizona, y'all. So the reason these kids got caught is because some other students overheard it and they ran to the teacher. They was like, these kids, they said they're gonna do this, this, and this. So the next day, they found the plan, all the plan that they wrote in the kids' book bag, y'all. And that's when they ultimately arrested them. They even said when one of the girls was being questioned, like on some Beyond Scared Straight shit, looked and was laughing and smiling the whole time. Hee hee ha ha. Like this was funny. They said the feds hit that girl with additional charges, threatening and disorderly conduct. This what I was saying. Nowadays, parents cannot be parents because if they was allowed to do what they did back in the day, I don't think this would have happened. I need y'all thoughts on this. This is crazy, fool.
Bro, so much has happened while we were all focused on the war in Iran. Liver King was arrested in a hotel in Austin, Texas, and now faces charges of terroristic threats after he traveled to the city to try and fight Joe Rogan. Next, for the first time in 12 years, PewDiePie is no longer among the top 10 most subscribed to channels on YouTube. Next, America is facing a heat wave so intense that dozens of people have been hospitalized, roads are buckling, and multiple heat records have been broken. New York recorded its highest temperature in over 13 years, and New Jersey had to declare a state of emergency after 150 people fell ill at an outdoor graduation. It was labeled a mass casualty event. Next, talking about New York though, today in a huge political upset, 33-year-old Zohran Mamdani won the primary for New York mayor, and if elected, he will be the first Muslim and Indian American to be mayor in the country's history. Next, the prosecution has now rested their case against Diddy, meaning they've laid out all the evidence they've got against Diddy, and it's now the defense's turn to convince the jury that Diddy is innocent. Next, a 22-year-old tourist from Norway has accused the US of denying him entry into the country because he claimed that he had a bold JD Vance meme on his phone. And now this picture is everywhere. However, the Department of Homeland Security denied this. They cited that the Norwegian's admitted drug use was the real reason he was denied entry. Next, Carmelo Anthony has been formally indicted by a Texas grand jury for first-degree murder. And because of the charges and the fact that he's being tried as an adult, Carmelo faces up to life in prison. And remember, an indictment means that a grand jury has formally accused someone of a crime after reviewing evidence presented by prosecution for weeks. Next, tragically, the rescue efforts to save 26-year-old Brazilian pole dancer Juliana Morins has failed. She was hiking on a mountain in Indonesia when she fell 1,000 feet into the crate of a volcano. It was miraculous that she survived the fall, but she also ended up surviving a further 4 days, praying that rescue teams could arrive in time. Unfortunately though, today she succumbed to her injuries. Next! And then lastly, the UK has announced that they are buying 12 F-35 planes from the United States, which are capable of carrying nuclear weapons. Not only are they some of the most advanced jets in the world, but also some of the most expensive as well. Woo! As the news keeps rolling, I'll keep you guys updated.
This is everything that happened on the news today, but it's going to be simplified in 60 seconds. Scientists have just officially thawed out 300 different worms from Siberian permafrost, and 2 of them actually came back to life. Okay. They're saying that out of these 300 prehistoric worms, 2 of them started to move and eat. So maybe we should put them back. Schools are now officially starting to remove analog clocks from the buildings because teenagers cannot tell the time. Teachers are saying that by using digital clocks instead is reducing the stress during timed exams because students can easily track how much time is left. I don't think that we need analog clocks anyways because
your body is. 16% of people have dry earwax instead of wet. 8% of people have blue eyes. I'm one of them. Which came from a genetic mutation from one person 6 to 10,000 years ago somewhere in Europe. 30% of people can raise one eyebrow independently. I can't do it. I know my wife can do it though. She uses that on me quite a bit. 2% of people can rotate their thumb to touch their wrist. What? Your boy can't do it. 1 in 10,000 people have damage to their amygdala and don't experience the emotion of fear even in life-threatening situations. That just makes sense. Some people, man, they're either not thinking or they just don't experience fear. 4% of people have the inability to visualize images in their mind even if they understand what they look like. 4% of people experienced merged senses like seeing colors when hearing music. 8% of men and only 0.5% of women are colorblind, usually struggling most to distinguish between reds and greens. 1 in 3,000 people are born with either webbed fingers or webbed toes. Did any of these describe you? Were you built different?
That was interesting, and none of those describe me. How about you?
So there's this guy who started this conspiracy on TikTok, and he's literally talking because he has a picture of a Tesla that ran right through his living room.
Oh no.
He's at home, his roommate's at home, and a Tesla ran right through the wall at like 5:06 p.m. He takes a picture of it, he calls the police, he goes outside at 5:07, and then at 5:10, he takes a picture of a tow truck guy whom he had not called underneath the Tesla. And the guy's like, hey, can you like maybe wait for a second? The cops should be here any second. And he's like, nope, can't wait. The guy says, I really think like with insurance and everything, we probably should do a report and stuff. And he says, get the blank out of my way or I'll you.
Oh,
He threatens his life, gets to the front, pulls around, and the guy's like, do you not have any empathy? And he says, dude, screw your empathy. And literally just like takes the car and leaves. And so his conspiracy.
Wait, I have a question though.
Yeah.
Whose Tesla was it?
It was the guy wasn't there. I don't think the guy was there at the.
It self-drove into the living room?
I don't know, or the guy left.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So I have no idea. The conspiracy is that Tesla is pinging any Tesla that gets into an accident, paying these tow companies or having reps in cities or whatever in order to not get bad.
That's exactly what it was. They getting rid of those Teslas. They getting rid of the evidence, so nobody makes a big deal out of it, right?
Okay, so what if I told you that humans didn't always see the color blue? Like literally. Like ancient people might have looked up at the sky and not even seen it as blue. Like they saw white or gray or maybe wine dark. But not blue. Word for it. And if your brain doesn't have a word for something, sometimes it just filters it out. Like in Homer's Iliad, for instance, the ocean is called wine dark. And the sky was never described as blue. Like even ancient Hebrew, Chinese, and Greek texts don't mention the color. It was one of the last colors to actually enter language. And here's the crazy part, right? Researchers found tribes today who still don't have a word for blue, and they literally can't pick it out in a lineup of colors. So maybe blue was always there, we just didn't have the lens to see it. So like, what else is around us right now that we literally can't perceive because we don't have the word for it?
Starting next month, 5,000 migrants will be housed in trailers and heavy-duty tents at this remote abandoned airfield.
As I call it,
Alligator Alcatraz.
In a promotional video set to music, Florida's Attorney General lays out what he considers a deterrent for any potential escapees.
People get out, there's not much waiting for them other than alligators and pythons.
But some local officials warn the environmental impact could be devastating.
We have environmental and physical stewardship and safety concerns.
The Trump administration has said it wants to get up to 100,000 beds at detention centers across the country.
Okay.
God bless Israel. God bless America.
We have to get the people of our country, of this country, to love Israel more. I have to tell you that.
Did you know 16 billion passwords were leaked in a massive data breach? I did 5 days ago. Why is it coming out now? The math wasn't mathing, so I started connecting the dots. So first off, you got those big tech execs that were sworn into the army on June 13th. So then things start getting dicey between Israel and Iran. So bad that Trump had to fly back June 17th early from the G7 summit. Kind of a big deal, the G7. Then not even 3 days later on the 20th, you've got this massive data breach with 16 billion compromised passwords. Then what happens? We BOMB Iran on the 22nd. Now, I don't think people know how serious this is. You've got 16 billion leaked passwords, okay, from supermassive data sets, including billions of login credentials from social medias, okay, Instagram, Facebook. Then you've got VPNs, your laptops, right? And then developer portals and user accounts for major vendors. They've got all your data. But this is what freaks me out. This is not just a leak, it's a blueprint for mass exploitation. This in Iran was a distraction. Let me say this again. This is not just a leak, it's a blueprint for mass exploitation. They've got all of our data, people. So tech execs sworn into the military, the Middle East is a and then bam, the most historical data breach of all time. Then guess what happened one day ago? Big C broke RSA encryption with quantum computers, threatening global data security forever. When can I just stop paying my bills? When do I get in my car and just drive to the mountains? Connect the dots, people. It's not good.
Did you guys hear about the fireball that streaked across the sky in Atlanta? This might be what it is. This right here is in Houston, Texas. Before we get to that, my boy said he saw this track appear in the sky, and all of a sudden he saw a plane go over it and try to cover it up, as you can see over here. I mean, look at this, y'all. What is going on over here? Like, the sun looks like it's got powers or something. Like, look at it. Can you believe that? But here's what's going on, and everybody's talking about it. So there was a meteor sighting in broad daylight. This was seen in South Carolina, but people in Georgia, North Carolina, and Tennessee are all seeing this. Now, here's the thing. When this thing streaked across the sky, I guess when it hit, it made a loud, thunderous booms, and homes were shaking. Right over here, it says that many viewers called and they said that they seen this fireball in the sky to the news station before their homes and the surroundings started shaking. Even the groups on Facebook are talking about this. Y'all, look at the aura around it, y'all. Look at that. That thing is crazy.
In the last hour, we have been getting reports in of a possible fireball or meteor over upstate South Carolina and also parts of North Georgia. This video from a dash camera in upstate South Carolina, I-85, exit 23, and you can see on the left side of the screen, look at that bright streak that comes through the sky. There it is, right there on the left side. Also, we've seen videos coming in from parts of North Georgia as well, and several pictures. In fact, several emergency managers in various counties from Rockdale County up through Roswell and other parts in North Georgia have had many calls coming in of people saying, I saw a fireball in the sky, or my house was kind of shaking from a loud boom. So that was likely a meteor or a fireball.
Y'all remember they said that these satellites and these meteors were going to start falling out of the sky, right? Y'all been seeing that. New York, it happened a couple places this year. All I'm saying is these things aren't random, y'all. This is gonna get interesting. But let me know what you guys think about this video, y'all. Like, follow, and share for more videos like this. Let's continue to get it. Peace out.
That is scary. Something falling from the sky and you don't know what it is, right? People probably think it's a missile, right?
I see it, you see it, we all see it. This hand signal right here is unmistakable. This is yet another Impacto music video that I got tagged in that shows these three individuals dancing together in front of a green screen. Things look normal. The guy in the back, though, then proceeds to put his hand like this and then close the fist over top. And for those that don't know, this hand signal is synonymous with an SOS sign or requesting help. The person that does this is usually in a situation of DV or potentially human trafficking. Now, when it comes to this being a social media video, though, I am a little bit doubtful that this is indeed a situation that requires this. I feel like this is more for views. The reason why I think this is because this is a universal sign and pretty much everyone can recognize this. A person editing and uploading these videos probably would notice this and pretty quickly call this out. To be quite honest, I also tried to look up this social media and figure out who was uploading this. I couldn't find anything, even with a reverse image search. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. And if you actually know these creators, whether or not they're doing this as a bit or not.
There's a terrifying cryptid that haunts the mountains of Appalachia. For decades, witnesses from West Virginia to eastern Tennessee and Kentucky have reported seeing this terrifying creature that they call the smoke wolf. And it's called that for a reason. This creature looks like a massive black wolf, but with burning red eyes, and seems to emit smoke around its body. Their bodies appear to be made of ash, shadow, and are often seen dissolving into the ether, like they phase in and out of our reality. And instead of leaving normal animal tracks when they walk, they leave scorch marks on the ground. According to the lore, they're incredibly dangerous and seem to hunt and unalive people for fun. Some have even described them as being pure evil. Over the years, some hunters have claimed to have heard of entire camps vanishing overnight without any sign of struggle, just the smell of burning in the air afterwards. And you might be in for an encounter if a thick, unnatural fog starts to roll in, followed by this low, bone-chilling growl that seems to echo from everywhere all at once. As far as how to defend yourself, well, the only thing that I could find besides running for your life was the sound of rattling chains seems to ward them off. So just what is it? Well, some people think that this thing is part cryptid, part demon, a spirit of vengeance, or even a kind of twisted energy manifesting from the Appalachian land itself. But what do you think? Make sure to leave a comment and let me know what you want to hear about next.
You gotta see this. Something flies out of that crater on the moon and it leaves. Just take a look. Look at this thing. There is something there. It flew out of that crater and it starts skeet-scatting shabdabbing. It gets moving. It's moving fast, baby cakes. Now I've got another version of that where it's even bigger and you can see whatever's flying a little clearer. But first, the moon has always been a little suspicious as far as I'm concerned. People for decades, including scientists, have suspected that the moon could be hollow. And possibly some kind of ancient space station that's been watching us here on Earth for centuries, heck, more than centuries, tens of thousands of years. And that would explain all the videos of stuff flying around the moon. And as I promised, here's that original video, but bigger. You can see this thing taking off, flying out of that crater. Where's it going? But better yet, where's it from and who's flying it, baby? Tell me what you think of that video, and if you think it's possible that the moon is actually an alien space station. Let me know in the comment section, Booshkies. Shabadoo!
There's a place called Secret Canyon where there's allegedly a portal, some kind of interdimensional portal. And I thought all of this was just crazy nonsense, but there are incredibly brave and super, super interesting people, Jeremiah Horstman and his wife Alexandra particularly, who live in Sedona, and they've been doing some really clever on-the-ground research. One of the things we did, a lot of the stuff we got, as so often happens, you can't put it in the story because you can't get these people to go on camera. But there was a number of people who would privately admit that they'd been walking in what is public land, and they'd be stopped by men with guns, men in uniform with automatic weapons, clearly highly trained elite soldiers, probably tier 1 operatives from the way they moved. And they would basically order people, go away or we will kill you. And if you looked at a particular place over Secret Mountain, you would see this big orb being escorted by helicopters rising from behind Secret Mountain.